is currently Tuesday. I am still deaf in one ear from the flight. It's Tuesday the 14th of June. I got home from Tunisia yesterday and I am incredibly tired. I am very, very anxious today because I am so behind with YouTube. I don't have anything filmed to upload this week or anything, so I am trying to tell myself that it's okay and that it will take some time to get back into the swing of things, but I'm feeling very stressed. So I thought I would start a weekly reading vlog for this week. I obviously got home yesterday. As I've just mentioned, I am still deaf in one ear a little bit because I had hearing problems as a child, and now only one of my ears pops, you know, like with the pressure and stuff when you're flying. So for a couple of days it can cause me a few problems. Usually it's fine and it re-pops itself and sorts itself out once I've landed, but obviously that's not the case today. I am full of a cold because of the AC in the room, but overall holiday was great. I had a really good time. Hotel wasn't quite what it said it was going to be, but overall the people made the holiday. We met some really lovely people, both working in the hotel and both as guests, and we had a fantastic time. It was good. So I didn't get a great deal read while I was on holiday, but let me tell you what I did read. I read most of The Good Girl Complex. I literally have this left, which is about 25 minutes of the audiobook. So I'm going to finish this today. This is really good. It's following Mac and also Cooper. Mac is what Cooper calls a clone. She is a rich girl. However, she's not just a rich girl because her parents are rich and she has a trust fund. She does have a trust fund, but she's rich off her own back as well. She's quite a clever girl, and she has like made this website and stuff that she's made like her first million already. So she's a self-made millionaire, and she goes to this college that's in town where Cooper lives because her boyfriend goes there and her parents are expecting that of her. So she goes to college. She doesn't really want to be there. She wants to continue working on the stuff that she's doing, continue being an entrepreneur. However, things don't go as they should, and she ends up meeting Cooper one night and they end up building this friendship, but things become more than that. Really enjoying it so far, having a good time with it. Well, so far I've not got long left. It's good. Love Elle Kennedy's writing style as always. I'm enjoying it. So this is one of my Patreon buddy reads for the months of May and June. So I should have been filming a vlog for this, but I haven't so far. So I'm just going to film my thoughts in a separate video for my patrons. But yeah, so I want to finish that today, and then what I do need to pick up next and very urgently is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I have to pick this one up due to it being the Literature Book Club pick for May, and I have the live show for this on Wednesday evening, so tomorrow night. So I do need to read this one. This is following Stella and also Michael. Stella is a very successful businesswoman, but she lives on her own. She has autism and she struggles with social cues and stuff like that. But her mum really wants her to settle down. So she ends up enlisting the help of Michael, who is a male escort, in helping her understand how to be in a relationship and things like that, and things just kind of go from there. It gives me very much so Pretty Woman vibes. I've said this like a million times, but it does. So I need to read this today. I have the audiobook, thank God, and it's only like 9 hours, 9.5 hours long. So hopefully I can get through this today and make some notes and stuff and tab it up. So I need to read this. And then other books that I am keen on reading this week, I could do with picking this up as soon as possible also. Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I actually have to review this on Thursday, so I could do with picking this up soon. It's not very long. I also have the audiobook for this, so I'm hoping that maybe I might be able to read this tomorrow evening, but I do have the live show for The Kiss Quotient, so maybe not. We'll see what happens. But I was sent this by the publisher. If not, I'll just do like a halfway review for it. So thank you to Hoda for sending me this one. I really do appreciate it. This is following a woman, Nora knows the formula for love better than anyone. As a romance channel screenwriter, it's her job, but when her husband leaves her and her 2 kids, Nora turns the collapse of her marriage into the best script of her life when it's picked up for the big screen and set to film on location at her picturesque Hudson Valley home. Nora's life will never be the same, especially after world famous Hollywood actor and former sexiest man alive Leo Vance is cast as her ex-husband. The morning after the crew leaves, Nora finds Leo on a porch with a half-empty bottle of tequila and a proposition. He'll pay $1,000 a day to stay for an extra week. 7 days. It's the blink of an eye or an eternity depending on how you look at it. It's enough time to fall in love, enough to break your heart. So I am keen on this one. It sounds very, very good and I'm really looking forward to it. And then I'm also thinking about trying to make my way through Death Note Volume 1 as well. So there's this one, which is Holly's favourite, Spoops' favourite. So there is that too. So these are my reading plans for this week. If I get through anything else, that would be awesome. But obviously we're only going till Friday. So we'll see what happens. Obviously I will finish this today and hopefully this today. We'll see. I do have a couple bits of mail from while I was away on holiday, so I thought I would open those with you quickly. This was a pre-order from Waterstones. I opened it last night, but it is My Dearest Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. Well, I am keen on this one. It says, while all towns have their ghosts, Rainwater's was special. The island had a habit of keeping things long after they were gone, and when Finch Chamberlain stepped in front of Rainwater, Maine, it decided to keep her. It sounds interesting. I am keen for this one. I think it's dark academia and stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. Also, incredibly floppy, so excited about that one. And then I do have my Tales by Mailbox, which is a subscription service for middle grade readers, and it is bi-monthly, so you get 2 books in the box, and I'm really keen to open this one. I have already had a quick mooch and the books look fantastic. So we have a little notepad. Make every day brilliant. It's got the date on it, how you're feeling. I will have a fantastic day because things to do that make me feel great. Oh, and it's got tick box, the best thing that happened today, and things to look forward to tomorrow. It's almost like a reflections type thing. That's really, really cute, that, especially for kids as well, because sometimes I feel like we ignore mental health of kids because we just assume that they're okay. So I like that, that's good. And then we do have the paperwork that comes. So the theme for this month is A Powerful Me, and on the back it tells you all the information. Tales by Mail is actually shutting down, which is really sad, so there is a goodbye thing here. This is the last box, which I'm really sad about because I've loved these boxes and I think that they do a really, really fantastic job. The girls are awesome, so it's a real shame. But then there is letters from the authors of the 2 books, and then a little activity thing as well, which they do in every box. There is a Tales by Mail iron-on patch. There is a tiny, tiny button, which is really, really cute. And then we have the books. So we have Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun. I've seen this about quite a lot and I almost picked it up several times, but I just didn't for whatever reason, and now I'm glad I didn't because I now have this copy. There is a signed book plate, but this says on the back, Onyeka's hair is extraordinary. It makes strangers stop in the street. When she discovers she can control her hair with her mind, what once was an insecurity, it now becomes her superpower. Onyeka is whisked off to the Academy of the Sun, a school in Nigeria where Solari children with superpowers are trained. But soon, Onyeka and her new friends find themselves caught up in an epic battle, one that puts the future of all Solari at risk. The superhero you've been waiting for, Kieran Millwood Hargreave. Sounds very, very interesting. And to go with that, we do have a bookmark as well. So that's the first book. And then the second book is The Unmorrow Curse by Jasmine Richards. I haven't seen this one before, but this cover is beautiful. 2 friends awaken a world of myth and magic in this epic middle grade fantasy perfect for fans of Rick Riordan. It's not every day that you find a famous weather woman bound by magic to a tree deep in the woods, or discover that the weather woman is in fact Suna, the Norse goddess of the sun, and one of the 7-day guardians who keep time in order. But that's just what happens to new friends Buzz and Matt. Mari, and it's only the start of their adventure. Now as humanity is forced into lockdown called the Unmorrow Curse, and is forced to repeat the same Saturday over and over again, Buzz and Mari must journey to collect the ruins of Valhalla and awaken the other day guardians before vengeful god Loki can get them first. The fight for tomorrow starts today. This is so intriguing to me because I've really been wanting to get into Norse mythology, but I didn't want to dive into like adult Norse mythology books because I felt like it would be overwhelming. So I do have a I think I've got Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman or something, so I do want to read that, but this is so intriguing to me because I do want to get more into Norse mythology. I really enjoyed, oh, what was it called? I was supposed to be unhauling it and then I ended up keeping it because I did really enjoy it. The Shadow Warrior, that was the last Shadow Warrior, sorry, that was really good. I really enjoyed that one. That had Norse mythology in it too. So yeah, very keen for this one. Again, does have a signed book plate in it. And there is a bookmark to go with, so that's cool. So those are the book. So yeah, that is the Tales by Mailbox, the last one. I'm really sad about it. I loved getting that box. So I'm gonna go and start getting some reading done, and I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you. But yeah, see you in a bit. Hello loves, it is Thursday. My apologies, it's been a hot minute since I checked in. I have been trying to get back to normal life, which is a struggle in itself. I haven't been feeling particularly well, like my stomach is struggling to adjust to get back to normal food and stuff, and in general I've been very tired. So reading update, I did finish Good Girl Complex on Tuesday. This is by Elle Kennedy. It's great. This is a new adult romance following Mac and also Cooper. I had a good time with it. I feel like their conflict was a lack of communication that bothers me. We were having this discussion last night about the kiss quotient on the live show, but I find that miscommunication can happen. I'm in a relationship where miscommunication happens between the pair of us, but more so because of me, because I'm insecure as a person, and I find that that miscommunication doesn't bother me half as much as generally just choosing to not tell a person something because you think it will be worse than telling them, if that makes sense. So in this situation, Cooper's keeping something from Mac that causes them a massive problem at the end of the book, but he had an opportunity to tell her further on, which infuriates the life out of me. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading Bad Girl Reputation, which is following Evan, who is Cooper's twin brother. So I am looking forward to reading that one, which comes out very soon, I believe. So I am hyped to continue on with the series, but I gave this one 4 stars. It was good. I do love Elle Kennedy's writing style though, it's fantastic. So I did finish that one. And then on Tuesday I did manage to get through the whole of The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is a reread for me. I love this book, it's very good. I gave it 5 stars for the second time. I do think that the autism rep in here is good, but that is not an Own Voices review, so do please go seek those out. But we had a few people in the chat say that they did see themselves in this book and they felt that the rep was very good. So I appreciate that, but yeah, I really enjoy this book. I love Michael. He's like one of my favourite love interests of all time. He's just a very good person. So I did enjoy this one, gave it 5 stars. The live show was really good, so thank you to India and Pris for joining me on that one as well. We had a really good discussion about this book, and if you want to check that out, I will leave the link, live show linked down below so you can go check it out if you want to. It is public for the Cliterature Book Club, which is my book club. Again, I'll leave all the information for that down below, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, so you can find out more information if you would like to join us. So I did enjoy this one, 5 stars for that. So that's 2 books that I've managed to finish this week. That's not as impressive. I only had like 20 pages left, but I managed to read that in a day. And then I did start Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I am reviewing this today. I'm probably only going to be able to manage like a half review, which is fine. I didn't get very far, I only got 9 pages, but what I've read so far, I am enjoying it. This is following Nora, This is following Nora Hamilton, who is an older character. I think she's in her maybe late, she's not old, she's an older character than what I'm used to reading. I think she's in like her late 30s, maybe 37, or maybe early 40s, I can't remember. She's got kids, her husband has left her. She's ended up writing a script, she's a screenwriter, she's ended up writing an entire script about like her life and stuff, and now it's going to be put on the screen. And the lead male actor, Leo Vance, has come to play her husband, and once all the filming is done, he's on her doorstep with a bottle in his hand, and he's asking her if he pays her £1,000 a day, or $1,000 a day, can he stay? $1,000 a day to stay for an extra week. So the romance is going to ensue from there, I assume. This is not very long at all. I may be able to finish it today. I am working from home today, so it's only 250 pages. I may be able to finish this today, who knows. But I would also like to make a start in Hooked as well by Emily McIntyre. This is one of my buddy reads for Patreon. So we'll see what happens today. I'm not sure. I've gotten up despite the fact that I don't feel particularly well. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, we'll see what happens. These two are my plans today, but I'm going to do some Patreon sprints this evening, so I'm about to schedule those. So I might try and get the audiobook for this so I can do some bits around the house while listening to it. It's not a particularly long one, so maybe I could get through it and do a full review rather than a half review. We'll see. But yeah, that's where I'm up to. That is the update. So I'm gonna go and get myself some food because I'm not feeling, I need to eat something. So get some food and get on with some reading and a bit of work, and I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Good evening. It is still Thursday. It is currently 10 to midnight. It's quite late. This is possibly, other than Monday night, the latest that I stayed up since I got home from holiday on Monday. But I wanted to give you a reading update because I have a couple updates. First of all, I finished Nora Goes Off script this afternoon, well this evening, with my patrons. I've been doing sprints since 5 o'clock and I've just finished with them now. So I did finish this one off. I got over halfway through this afternoon and then went and had a nap and then finished it with my patrons in the first 2 sprints with them. And I enjoyed this one. This was really, really good. It ended up getting 5 stars in the end. The twist that happened in this, there's always a twist in a romance in which the couple ends up breaking up for whatever reason, and then they come back together. Like there's an argument and then they come back together. This was done very, very differently, and I really enjoyed the way it was done. It was kind of like out of the 2 people's control, and it was a really good twist. I really enjoyed it. I did feel like the romance was maybe a little bit insta-lovey, but with it being such a short book, I kind of let that go by. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I loved our main characters, Nora and Leo, but I also adored the side characters. Nora's kids, both Bernie and Arthur, I loved them both, and then Nora's parents were great. I thought they were fantastic. I thought they were a really good addition, and her sister Penny and also her friend Kate. So I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was a really weird noise, and I thought it was my stomach. It was my phone letting me know it's 10% charge, battery left. I liked that this was about an author. I love books about authors. For example, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I really adore that book. So I do enjoy books. She was not even an author, she's a screenwriter, whatever. It's a similar thing. But I did really enjoy this. So 5 stars for this one. It was a low 5-star, but it was a 5-star read nonetheless. Thank you to Hodder for sending me this one. I really appreciate it. Great shout. And then I did start Hooked this evening by Emily McIntyre. I was concerned that I might struggle with this one because I'm physically reading it, and I thought I was going to have to get the audio. However, I am ploughing my way through this book. I am now 118 pages through. I haven't physically read a book in a really long time. I do a lot of audiobook reading because I can get very impatient with myself sitting around reading for ages. It's not that I feel like I'm wasting time, but I like the thought of being able to do multiple things at once. So I like the thought of being able to pack bookmarks while I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm multitasking, I'm getting 2 jobs done at once, things like that. Whereas when I'm sat physically reading, I can't do anything else. I can't check my phone, I can't doom scroll at the same time, I can't pack bookmarks, I can't make thumbnails. Do you know what I mean? So I like to feel like I'm being productive twice as hard when I'm listening to an audiobook. So I don't physically read very often. The current book that I am physically reading other than this one is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and it's been taking me a long time to get through it. I don't know if it's the book or me. However, it sounds like it's the book because this I am ploughing through. This is a Peter Pan retelling. We are following James and also Wendy. We're getting multiple POVs and it's very intriguing. James is Hook. It's very intriguing, incredibly dark. So be wary of that if you're going to pick this book up. It is very dark. I've read some dark romances previously, but not as dark as this. I would actually probably say they weren't dark romances. Now that I think about it, they were probably more like romantic suspense as opposed to dark romance, whereas this is very dark romance. There is even an author's note at the beginning of the book that says, Hook is a dark contemporary romance. It's an adult fractured fairy tale. It's not fantasy or literal retelling. The main character is a villain. If you're looking for a safe read with redemption and a bad guy turned into a hero, you'll not find it in these pages. Hook contains sexually explicit scenes as well as mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. Reader discretion is advised. As always, trust the process. So I am enjoying it, but there have been a couple of scenes that have been incredibly violent. I always find that violent scenes, like fighting scenes and action scenes, violent ones, don't shock me as much on screen unless it's the likes of like John Wick. I find those movies, I fucking love those movies. I find them incredibly violent, but I find that it portrays way more violent. Even though you're not physically watching it happen, I find that it portrays way more violent on paper because it's described a lot more than just physically seeing it, if that makes any sense. So there were a couple times where I almost gagged and I was like, why am I reading this book? But I'm really enjoying it so far. So having a good time. Don't want to tell you any more than it's a Peter Pan retelling, but we're following Hook and Wendy and it's good. I can see me not taking too long over this and wanting to jump straight into the second one and the third one. Apparently the second one is a Lion King retelling, which I'm totally fucking here for. I don't know what the third one is though, but I'm really excited. So, and I do want to physically buy, although these are Kindle Unlimited books, I do want to physically buy them because they're really pretty. Well, I physically own this one, but the other two. So this is a Patreon buddy read as well. I have warned them that if you haven't yet picked it up and you're not into your dark romance or you're just getting into dark romance, be aware this is incredibly dark. So having a good time, and this will annihilate the dark romance prompt with Whateverthon as well. I will go through the board at the end of the week when I wrap this up and let you know what I've read and what I've managed to knock off the board. I think that this will probably run into next week.
Bullshit.
Unless I can find some spare time over the weekend, which I don't think I will, to fit this in. If I don't end up going out tomorrow night, I will probably finish it then, because part of me wants to go up and just binge it for the rest of the evening, but I do have work tomorrow, so I probably shouldn't do that and fuck with my sleeping pattern too much, but I think I'm probably going to go up and try and get a little bit further in, maybe to the 150 page mark. So yeah. But I'm gonna go and get some sleep. I feel like today has been pretty productive. I've managed to get through and do a full review for this one rather than a half review. And then I have managed to get into a fourth book this week. So I'm really happy with my progress. And I'm also not deviating from my TBR too much. I almost picked up Illuminate. This is how close I was to picking Illuminate up. I even brought it downstairs. I was feeling like I might want a comfort read after Nora, but I read the prologue of this and it sucks me straight in, so which is good because my only two other completely have to read reads for book clubs are Mordew and Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which I can focus on next week, which is really good. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I will check back in with you and I've got another update for you potentially tomorrow if I don't go out in the evening. But otherwise it could be Sunday before I check back in with you again. I'm going to try and get a bit of B-roll from my weekend, I think, as well, because otherwise this vlog's just going to be 4 clips with the wrap up at the end. So, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, good morning. It is currently Saturday and I have a couple reading updates for you. I forgot to let you know again. First of all, I ended up staying up very, very late into Friday morning to finish Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I read this, you could say in one sitting. I had breaks and stuff, but I read it through my Patreon sprints and then stayed up till 4:30 in the morning to finish this book because I just could not put it down. I kept telling myself, the end of this chapter I'll put it down, I'm going to go to bed. End of this chapter I'll put it down, I'm going to go to bed. Just one more chapter. And honestly, it's no joke. I haven't stayed up and read a book like this in a while. I think maybe the last time was The Family You Make back in January. So I loved it. It was fantastic. It was incredibly dark. It was shocking in places. Sorry, my eye keeps twitching because I'm incredibly tired. Shocking in places, but I loved all of it. I loved every second. I have since ordered the next one in the series, which is Scarred, which I think is a Lion King retelling from what I've been told. But I fucking love this. It was great. I gave it 5 stars. I was obsessed. Honestly, any book that can keep me up through the night just to finish will naturally get 5 stars from me. Like Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey was another one. That was ages ago though. I've since reread that, but that book kept me up through the night to finish. I will always remember that book for that. Similarly with Hooked, I will always remember this. So fantastic. Absolutely loved it. The sex scenes in here were phenomenal as well. This would be perfect for Literature Book Club, so it could be one to think about in the future. So loved it. Highly recommend. Just be wary. It is very, very, very dark. Very violent. Incredibly dark. So 5 stars for that. And then last night I tried to get an early night. Obviously I was up till 4:30 in the morning. I then had to get up for work at 8:30. I worked throughout the day and then I came home. Andy went out with Wayne for a few drinks and they invited me out, but I decided that I was just too tired. I had a banging headache as well. So by 8 o'clock I was in bed and by 8:30 I was sleeping. However, I woke up again at around about 10 o'clock, 10:15, and that was it. I was awake again and I was really frustrated because I was hoping for an early night. Turned out I ended up having a nap. So I was a bit gutted and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I did continue reading The Friendship Pact by Jill Shalvis, which I did start on holiday. I got an e-arc of this, so thank you to Headline for sending me that. However, the formatting on it wasn't quite right. There were letters missing all over the place and it was making it incredibly difficult to read until I got to a point where there was a note from April, Tay's mum, and it was just physically impossible to read. Like there were just letters all over the place. So I sent a quick email to Headline because I am supposed to be reviewing this today on Instagram. Sent a quick email to the publishers to say that the formatting isn't right and I cannot physically read it. Obviously I was on holiday. They did offer to send me a physical copy, however I was on holiday. Didn't make much sense. I'd already pre-ordered a copy. So once my copy came, I could continue reading it. So I think I was around about 70 pages in. I did continue reading this last night and I got to page 162, so I'm not quite halfway, but I am really enjoying this one. This is set in the same town, I think, if I remember correctly. I think that's the only connection between this and The Family You Make by Jill Shalvis, which I read in January and was my favourite book of the year until Book Lovers. But I think that it's just set in the same town. That's about it. That's the only connection, I think. There's no connection between the characters or anything, but we're following Tay in this one. So she's an event planner for herself, but she works very closely with a company called Adrenaline HQ, which basically takes athletes with disabilities and wounded warriors as well out and about, like up mountains, and they do loads of recreational stuff to help give them their lives back. It's very, very inspiring actually to read. But she's the events planner for this company. Jake is the guy that runs the company with his girlfriend Caroline, and Tay's mum is in here also, April. She's a little bit of a meddler. They have a very, very close relationship because April was a child mum essentially. There is, I think, literally about 15 years the age gap between them or something. So we are following this set of people. We're also following Riggs, who is ex-military, as well as his brother Jake, who runs Adrenaline HQ. Now, Riggs is a silent partner in Adrenaline HQ, and he comes back to town to check in on his brother, but it turns out that Riggs and Tay have a past. So this is a second chance romance, and I'm really enjoying it so far. There is so much chemistry between Riggs and Tay. April is very much a meddler, but she is keeping a secret from her daughter Tay, and I'm very intrigued to find out what that is. So what I love about Jill's books, especially this one and the previous one that I have read, she's got an entire backlist. I don't know if it's the same through all of them, but what I loved about The Family You Make and what I'm finding in this one is that you're not just following the two main characters, and the side characters are literally just side characters. The side characters are also very much involved and become main characters. So for example, April, Jake, Caroline, they all kind of get involved. So you're following the main relationship, which is Tay and Riggs, which is a second chance romance. You're following the mother-daughter relationship between Tay and April. You are following the brotherly relationship between Jake and Riggs. You're following Jake and Caroline's relationship as well, but you're following Tay's work relationship within this company also, and I really enjoy it. Tay also is taking on two kids, Geordie and Sarah, who are brother and sister, and helping them along with Adrenaline HQ as well, because they're from a very poor background and she wants to help them. So really enjoying this so far. I don't think I'm going to finish it today because I am going out later on today, but I might try and read a little bit more this morning if I get the opportunity to do so. But today, Saturday, is 24 hours of Jade's next Pokemon gym. Pokethon gym, sorry. So if you didn't know, Jade runs a Pokemon themed readathon for her patrons, and every couple of months or so, there's no order to it, but every so often there is a gym battle, which is a 24-hour readathon, and you try and read as many of the prompts as possible for each of the Pokemon that kind of running with that gym. This is a very weird way to explain it. So the current gym that we are in is the Vermilion City gym, and this one is reading books from the electric Pokemon, I think. So I wanted to try and take part because she's got badges and stuff, and I did want to try and take part where I could. So seeing as I was still awake at midnight this morning when it all kicked off, I did decide to read 1 or 2 books. So the first one that I did read was for the Magnemite Pokemon, and that was for a book you're drawn to, and I did decide to pick up Nightlights by Lorena Alvarez. This is just a teeny tiny graphic novel. I think it's supposed to be children's or middle grade, I'm not sure, but it's a little bit terrifying. I was actually a little bit freaked out at midnight this morning, but I enjoyed this one. This is following a young girl called Sandy, and every night tiny lights appear out of the darkness in Sandy's bedroom. She catches them and creates wonderful creatures to play with until she falls asleep, and in the morning she brings them back to life in her whimsical drawings. When a mysterious new girl appears at school, Sandy's drawings are noticed for the first time, but Morphe's fascination with Sandy's talent soon turns into something far more sinister. It was good. It's a teeny tiny graphic novel. It's literally about 56 pages, but I adored it. It was cute, and I picked these up originally because of Tracy, so thanks to Tracy for recommending these, but I hadn't read them since picking them up, and I am attracted to the cover. It's very beautiful. So I read that one. And then the next Pokemon that I did complete was Jolteon, which was to read by torch or flashlight, depending on where you are in the world. And I ended up continuing on with this series, and I read Hecate by Lorena Alvarez. Again, you're still following Sandy, but this time she goes to a school field trip on the local wetlands. She wanders away from her classmates and discovers an empty turtle shell. Peeking into the shell, she suddenly finds herself with a magical new dimension. Filled with sculptures, paintings and books, the turtle shell is a museum of natural world, but one painting is incomplete, and the shell's mystery inhabitant needs Sandy's help to finish it, sorry. So again, cute. I preferred this one over Nightlights, but they both got 4 stars. And I did read this by Torchlight. I think you'll have seen some b-roll. So yeah, adorable. So I managed to complete 2 of the prompts for Pokethon this weekend. I was going to try for another because one of the other prompts was Zapdos, which is a book with a storm, and I was going to try and read The City of Dragons, The Awakening Storm by Jamal Yogis and Vivian Truong. It says storm in it. I don't know if it actually has a storm, but I think it will have like a dragon storm. It will cause a war or something, I don't know. But it's got the word storm on the cover, so I was going to try and read that. I don't know if I'm going to get time to do so before I need to go out though, so I'm not going to bother, but I'll let you know and come back to it if I do. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So far this week I've managed to finish 6 books. I mean, 2 of them are teeny tiny graphic novels, but still, which is impressive. So it would be nice to finish another one just to get 7 for the week, because, you know, that's a nice round number for a week, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. The only way I might be able to do it is if tomorrow evening I get the chance to read this, but I don't know what time I'm going to get back from being out with family tomorrow, because it is Father's Day, so we'll see. I might go down and try and read a bit more of that. I don't know what my plans are as far as what time I'm going out completely. I am out for Andy's niece's birthday party from 5 o'clock. Well, it starts at 5, so I'll be leaving here at 4 at the latest, but I don't know if we're going out before then, so that's where I'm at. So I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Do you come and playing back in here? Say cheese, Tom Dog. Cheese. Oh wow. Morning. It is now Monday morning. My battery's dying. It's 9:20 and I am up pretty early because I've got a lot of shit to do today. I have so much to do. However, I am here to wrap this reading vlog up. So I did manage to read 6 books this week. Oh, that's not stable. 6 books this week, and I'm really happy with that progress. Actually, a lot of romance, couple graphic novels. So let's very quickly go through them again, because I have gone through them already in this video. Okay, so I did read Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I gave this one 4 stars. It was really good. I did enjoy it. Enjoyed this one, 4 stars. I also read The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I gave this one 5 stars. This was a reread for me, and I was reading this for the Cliterature Book Club, which is my book club. If you didn't know, it's a smutty book club. I will leave all the information linked in the description box down below if you want to check it out. But I did give this one 5 stars for the second time. Absolutely love this. This is a gender bent, pretty woman kind of retelling, and I absolutely love it. Lots of autism rep in here. It's fantastic. So would highly recommend. Then I did read Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. This also got 5 stars, a lower 5 stars than this one, but it got 5 stars. This was great. It's not very long. It was really, really good, and I really enjoyed the spin at the end and the reason why, you know, the breakup happened before they're getting back together, like it always does in a romance book. I just love this. It says on the front, from Beth O'Leary, smart, fresh and romantic. I love this book with my whole heart. I would entirely agree. So, would highly recommend. Then I did read Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I flew through this. I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, reading this one because I just could not put it down. It was fantastic. I would highly recommend, however, watch for triggers. It's incredibly dark, very violent, and there is a slight element of Stockholm Syndrome in here, albeit I don't know if it necessarily counts as Stockholm Syndrome, but it is mentioned anyway by the characters themselves. I loved it. It got 5 stars. Naturally, I stayed up till silly o'clock reading it, so obviously it got 5 stars. And I'm very excited to continue on in this series. I read this one for my Patreon buddy read. And then I did read both Nightlights and Hecate by Lorena Alvarez. These are very small graphic novels, children's graphic novels, although this one I think is a little bit terrifying myself. And these are really good, following a young girl who can move the night lights to make pictures, and she dives into these worlds, and then when she comes back after her sleep, she draws the pictures and stuff, but she's a very distracted young girl and she gets herself in a bit of bother, so in her real life. But I really enjoyed these were cute. They both got 4 stars, so yeah, I had a good time with these were I read them for Jade's Pokethon gym, which happened on Saturday, and I haven't read anything since. I did also get part way through the Friendship Pact. I was on around about the 70 odd page mark in this when I picked it back up this week, because I did start it on holiday. However, the e-arc that I had for this the formatting was all wrong, so I had to wait till I got home and my physical copy, my physical pre-order arrived, and I'm now on page 162. So really enjoying this one. This is the second one to the Family You Made, which I read in January and was my favourite book until I read Book Lovers. So yeah, I feel like I got a decent amount read this week. I'm really happy with how this week's gone. First week back off my holiday, first proper week reading for Whateverthon, and I feel like I've managed to really pick myself up. I did pledge 8 books for Whateverthon, and I managed to read 6 so far. Now, I don't know where these are gonna fit. I need to check the board. However, my board, I did update it and it does look like this at the moment, so I think I'm doing okay. I'm 6 books read. Only 2 more to go to complete my goal. That's the first full week of Whateverthon for me complete. I did manage to read quite a bit. I was partway through. I was actually mostly done with Good Girl Complex. And 2 of them are graphic novels, but I'm still really happy with how much I've read. Like 3 of them were full-length novels, so I'm sorry, 4. That's 4. So I am really happy with how things have gone, and I did get a decent dent back into this as well. So yeah, and I've managed to do a load of physical reading this week as well. This is a physical read. This was a physical read. Obviously the graphic novels. So because I did read these 3 audibly. But it's nice to be back physically reading some stuff as well, because I couldn't put this down, and this is the same. I would have gone right through and read this as well Friday night, but I was knackered, so I just didn't force myself. I want to be able to enjoy it. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. Let me know in the comments down below what your favourite book this week was. How is Whateverthon going for you? You'll notice I have my What's Up, it does say beaches later on, t-shirt on today, because I am hosting sprints for Whateverthon, my first set of sprints for the readathon. So yeah, I'm gonna go and I will check back in with you in the next video. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Goodbye.